where I was going with the story and what I was doing. And then again, I'm one of those. I set myself a lot of little micro goals with a lot of weird, wonderful things that I do in my life. I just have these micro goals. So initially it was like 500 words a week, and then I was doing 700. So I was like, well, maybe we should be aiming for 800 now. So then I'm hitting that 1,000. Maybe I can do 1,500. So it was just building slowly. That yeah, I can do that, and then it was eventually got to a couple of thousand a night as opposed to a week.
Thank you. Might make April's question the last one.
This is probably a bit left field, but you were saying before you wrote something and you didn't even realise you'd written. I've read about people say they get into an alpha state. They talk about artists and sports people and writers that actually write stuff and then that they're in that zone.
It's hard to explain it if you're not in it, but that's what it's like. It's that like tunnel vision. You can only see the finish line or whatever, and it just anything else that happened in my world at that time, I wouldn't have had a clue. I was just through the back of brain coming through my fingers, and I had no clue.
Because there's a lot of famous people that they say that they've written or painted in this alpha state, which is somewhere between not awake and not asleep, but
and it can be as intense as that moment for me, and that wasn't a really intense, shocking, but it can be little things, and like Fiona McIntosh, who I love and adore, calls it back of brain takes care of business. And so just little things. I remember sitting there and I was having trouble with how my story my fantasy one would progress to the next stage to basically blow it up and bring about all the conflict and the ending. And I wrote this character and I was feeling a lot of my characters were just feeling a bit cardboard cutouty. So I gave this one in particular a bit of detail for no other reason than the others all felt a bit bland, so I thought I'd better give this one some colour. And I'm sitting there with the dishes, doing the dishes one night, and my ex-wife's puttering around, and it was like, oh, he's going to do it. Like, this character Rollo, like, he's going to do it. It's like, what? He's the one. He's the one that's going to set it all off. And he's going to warn them, and that's going to happen. And it's just the whole story, the next step, just unfolding in my mind, just doing the dishes. Yeah.
Doesn't happen when I do the dishes.
Okay, one more. Mario's.
Thank you very much for all that. It's interesting what you've just been explaining is coming back from the industrial design school. The process that you are using is a subconscious, and you become that character. We use that quite often in designing things. We actually absorb when you're washing the dishes. The reason why you're washing the dishes is because you needed that information. Then your subconscious got that information, then it just flowed out. Nothing could stop it. And the same happens with designing. We draw information from around us, and then whatever's around, anything else happening, it doesn't matter. It's you become that character, or that person that's going to write, and you can write continuously without stopping. And that's exactly what you've just been explaining, what I was taught. It's an interesting approach to writing.
I believe that. There's definitely an element where you can really live in your characters and that. And if you're writing about different things and heavy things, that can be a burden and that can be hard. I remember I saw Michael Robotham do a talk, and he talked about, like, because he's writes sort of heavy crime, if you read any of his stuff, and when he finishes a manuscript, his wife would say to him, I get my husband back now, because he stopped being those characters in that dark place. And then there's an element of that, and especially someone like me who trauma mines like a lot of horrible things. So my parents were big drinkers, so that was a thing for me. So the one I'm editing now, the opening scene, is actually an event from my life that no one, like you've been told now, but no one really knows that this happened like that. And it's not a pleasant thing, but that's a way to make use of something that happened to me. And it's like I wasn't molested. I'm not sure it was probably that much. It was but yeah, it was a dark period of being stuck in a house with an alcoholic, and yeah, so it can take you to these horrible dark places. But if you can make art out of it, and you know, hopefully inspire other people, and it's worth it. Yeah.